Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is going to be a slightly different way of me doing this video today, and I hope you like it. I just want to bring something different to the table as such, something where you can be a little bit more interactive, where you can get some answers straight away without having to leave a comment or anything like that. However, I would appreciate if you could leave a comment or hit the like button or anything like that, just so that I know that you actually enjoyed this video and that it actually helped you. What I will do is I got 4 crystals here, as you can see. I will explain about them in a minute, and I will be putting 4 cards down. I put them down with the card face up, so that you can't see what it is. Then you just pick the card depending on which one you're drawn to, either that's drawn to the card or drawn to the crystal itself, and I will then explain what each card means. Please bear in mind this is very much like a general kind of indication. It doesn't mean that it has to be exactly right for you, but it should hopefully get you a good idea. If you do want something a little bit more personal, please do feel free to book a reading with me, or even put your name down for one of my free readings. As long as you get something out of this, that's all that matters to me for now. So let's get started. So what I will do is I will start with the love energy, so anything to do with love. So put a question in your mind that is about love or anything to do with relationship. I got here 4 crystals. So the first one is the malachite. Malachite, as some of you might know, is very much about transformation. It's about moving forward and about changes in your life. Then I got the rose quartz. Most of you know what that's good for. It's good for love, for relationships, but it's also very, very good for self-love. Citrine next. It's very much an abundance crystal that brings with it a lot of good positive energies, a lot of abundance in general, and just a very, very nurturing good stone. And finally, the smoky quartz. Smoky quartz is a great crystal for protection, for anything to do with you just needing a little bit of a protective energy around you. So you either can go by what card you feel drawn to or what crystal you feel drawn to. But let's get started with love. So have a love question in your mind and let's go with that. Sorry about the background noise. My fur babies have decided to make a little bit of noise right now, but unfortunately I can't control that. So pick one card. What's your question? Think about the question and then which card is it you feel drawn to. And we're looking at love now. So let's get started. Fantastic. So this card really tells me that we're looking at something that is coming your way, something that's new, something that is very different. This is not showing me something that is a past connection or a connection that is that has been as such. This tells me something new is coming. Now, if you're in a relationship, that would indicate that something is going really well and that there's something going to change in a more positive way. If you're not in a relationship, that means love is coming your way and you're actually in a much stronger position soon. If there's someone that you kind of like have broken up with, this would indicate that it is time for you to embrace new opportunities coming into your way. Brilliant. This is very much telling us that we're looking at choices, we're looking at different things. So if you're looking for a relationship, that would indicate that there are different things are now happening around you, where you have options, where you have opportunities, and where there will at least be a choice between 2 people that you could get closer to. If you're in a relationship, that tells me that there's a slight amount of how can I say it, slight confusion as such, where things are feeling a certain way, but it kind of like makes you question things, but it's ultimately positive. So what I mean is, like, if you notice that things feeling a little bit distant, feeling a little bit strange, just go with it, because this is actually quite a good relationship that you are in, so it will actually get through this period. Again, if there's someone from your past you're looking for to rekindling, this is actually a good card to say, yes, you can actually rekindle and feel that there's a new hope there. Let's have a look at the next card. Sun card, perfect. I mean, when I'm getting a card like this and looking at relationships, it tells me things are going well, things will be very happy, and you will be in a very good positive place. It also tells me that if you are looking for love, this is definitely the time you will find it. Go out, make it happen, make sure you really go for it and believe in yourself. If you are in a relationship, it just tells me you're going from strength to strength, and this is someone who is really good for you. And again, if you're looking at someone from the past coming back, this is definitely indicating that yes, this is happening and there's a rekindling of an energy. So it's a very positive card. It means that you waited long enough to actually get somewhere, and this is now your time to actually make it happen. Perfect. This tells me very much that it's a time for you to rest a little bit, this is not a time for you to really move forward in a relationship sense. You might have noticed, like when I'm talking about the cards, I'm not going by the traditional meaning, I'm going by what it tells me. I'm an intuitive psychic. I work with being shown what is happening through the images, not through the names on the cards, for example. So for me, this card always tells me, and it's telling me now as I'm looking at it, that this is the time for you to really step back, focus on yourself, and relationship on something that you should put on the back burner right now. What that would indicate is that if you're in a relationship, right now is not the time to make any big changes, to just keep things very much rolling as they are. If you're looking for someone, it's the time to actually start stepping back and just gathering your thoughts, gathering your energy again, and move forward after you kind of like feel stronger again. If you're looking at ex coming back, this is now the time to not really go down that route, to kind of like leave that for now and see how you feel in a few months' time or a few weeks' time. But right now, it's not a time to reconnect with someone from the past, because it would only give you heartache and more hurt. So I hope that helped a little bit on the love front. Let's move on to the next section, which is family. So family means, when I'm looking at family, that could also mean good friends, could mean anything to do, because the thing is, sometimes your best friend can feel like a family member, and that's the thing that's kind of like what I'm looking at. Something that feels important for now to know about moving forward on that level, on the kind of like home relationship front kind of thing. So let's have a look where we're going here. Okay, so number 1, number 2, 3, and 4. So let's have a look. Okay, this is telling me that it's important that we get a little bit more balance back into our home life, into our family life. It would indicate that you have been given quite a lot of your energy, and it feels like it hasn't always come back. So it looks also to me that it's about you making sure that you not keep putting things off, that you actually talk about what is important to you, and that you really start being honest with yourself and what it is that is important to you. So this is very much a time about balance, a time about you being back in control of yourself. Okay. This tells me that there's a change needed in your energy, that it feels to me that there's some people around you, and that could be family, could be friends, whoever you call family as such. And it looks to me that there's at least one person who has not always had your best interest at heart. And I do see that it has been quite painful, and you have heard from this. And it just feels to me that now is the time to kind of like really look at what it is that is important to you. You can't keep doing what you feel you should do. You have to sometimes do what you know you want to do, what feels right in your heart. And this is the time to really start to change things around, to make it more right for you, rather than how you feel you should be. Okay, this is a nice card. This is very, very much just telling me that we really be needing to look at getting some harmony in our life, making sure that you actually do reach out to, like, for example, let's just go with that. If you have an older parent, it might be worth to check in with them a little bit more. I know you would do that anyway, but just make sure that you really give those a chance that need it right now, that you kind of like even if you haven't always gotten enough back from them, just give a little bit of yourself right now and just say like, I'm here for you if you need me. This is kind of what the cards telling me here. It's about you just saying, you're my family, I'm here for you if you need me. So this is what's coming up here. Okay, this is very much telling me that now it's the time for you to move forward in your own energy. Unlike with the other card where it was very much about, if you picked this card, it would have been very much about you actually offering, in a way, your service, your kind of like energy towards the people you love. And this is very much not the opposite, but just saying, make sure you actually put your own energy into what is important to you and what is right now needed for you. It's not in a selfish way, it's in a kind of way of saying, if I don't keep putting myself first and actually putting first forward what is important to me, then I'll end up getting drained and more drained and more drained, and I don't actually get anywhere. So this is very much a card to say, time for me to actually withdraw a little bit and actually reflect on what's important to me and what is there that I need to deal with right now for myself. So this is very much a card, unlike a lot of the others, this is saying that yes, I know you love your family, you love the friends that you see as family, but now is the time to actually start you to have a time for you to just say like, okay, this is what is really important to me right now and this is what I need. So time for you to actually put yourself first. That's what this is saying. Let's go to the next part, which will be work and career. However you look at these things, I mean, it's pretty much the same, but of course the career is, when we talk about careers, we're talking about things that are usually moving upwards more than if you're talking about work. But it's kind of like, it just depends on how you look at these things. So I label them work and career, whichever feels more right for you as such. So let's have a look where we're going here. Go. Let's have a look. So, interestingly enough, the work, as we're looking at work, this is for me the kind of like hard working card. It's the card of like really staying focused in your energy and just keep going for it. It's basically what that card is telling me generally is that right now is the time to put your head down and just get on with things at the moment. There's no, basically what I'm trying to say is this normally indicates to me that there is no movement for up or down at this point. It just kind of like keep going and stay in that focused energy of keeping things just as they are. This is a good card because it just in a way tells us that there are no big changes happening, and sometimes changes can be scary. So this is saying that there's no big changes happening, but on the flip side, of course, it also means it's not any progress as such. But sometimes we don't really always want progress. Sometimes it's just good to just keep going until you're actually ready to make a big progress. So this is basically just saying things are staying pretty much as they are for now, without any big changes. So that's the best way I can put it. So if you pick this card and you've been considering, for example, should I change my job or anything like that, or apply for something new, right now it feels very much like hold your horses. There's not a big change happening here, so just keep going with what is at the moment, and it will actually give you then the outcome later down the line when the time is right. Let's have a look at this. Okay, this on the flip side is telling me that now it's the time to actually start looking at what it is you're doing and looking at what it is that is important to you, and potentially looking at making some changes, because this is telling me that you're very good at what you do, but you have to really start believing in it. So if you were looking at making any changes in your job, now's the time. If you're looking at starting something new, now's the time. However, if you haven't got anything and you're looking for a job, right now is also the right time to really look for it and to put yourself out there, because I do see that your skills will be valued more now than they normally would be. So now is the time to really show off a little bit, show that you can actually be the person that you expect that you want others to see you at. Okay, now this is telling me very much that this is a time, if you pick this card, this is a time to move up. This is for me, this is kind of like moving to the next level card. So this means looking at promotions, looking at things going where you basically step up from where you are now. Now this could be, of course, if you're looking for a job or for work, then this is now the time to really start doing it. If you're looking at doing something yourself, like start your own business, then now is the time to do it. If there has been some promotions going on and you haven't really been going for it because you felt like maybe it's not for me, now is the time to do it. So if you pick this card and you're looking at anything to do with stepping up from where you are, now is the time. This is a very good card. I mean, these two cards are quite similar with how their energies are, but this is more a card of you having your value, that people see your value. This is a card of you moving to the next level. So if you pick this card, now is the time to really step it up and move on. Okay, now this, when it comes to your work or career thing, it's telling me that things are not going quite the way that you would like them to. This is telling me that things are very much on a level where you feel maybe I need to step back a little bit. Maybe I need to focus on something else for now, because where I am at and everything is feeling a little bit, I say it sometimes, and actually I say it quite often when I look at these kind of energies, you're feeling undervalued, underappreciated in this energy here. This is what it's telling me, and it's about you really looking at what it is that you really want moving forward, because if you keep things as they are, you will keep feeling like things are not going right, things are not feeling how you would like them to, and therefore it's not a good, this is not a good card for when you want to progress. This is very much a card of telling me things are stagnant and not moving on, and you're doing a lot of work, a lot of things that are not being appreciated, you're not being valued. So if you're looking for a job, I would say now is the time to really look at what it is you genuinely want, because there's a reason why you haven't found anything, because nothing has been feeling quite right, and this is what the card is showing me. So look at what you really generally need to get out of a job in order to have that. If you are in a job and are really not quite happy, now it's the time to really start looking at, do I actually still feel that this is my right career path? Now this is basically a card that tells me time to rethink what you do, because something isn't feeling quite right. So I hope that makes some sense. Let's go to the next section, which is money. Now, just a quick disclaimer, I cannot talk about money as such in the big financial issues, because that's something we're not allowed to do. However, I will be looking at abundance, at how things are generally feeling, and if there's anything to really be not concerned about, but be aware of. So let's see what happens here. Okay. So, have you your finance, we've done the work, have your finance question in your mind and really kind of like think about what it is you want. Pick your card and then let's get started. Now, this is a great card. It tells me abundance, it tells me things going the right way, it tells me that things are feeling good and happy. So that would indicate that there's a good financial abundance around you. Again, as I said, I'm not giving financial advice, I'm not saying anything like that. It feels like there's abundance and you're feeling a lot more balanced, happy, and in a more positive frame of mind. So this is a very good card. It's interesting how it's with the Malachite, because the Malachite is a card of transformation, and this feels to me that this is transforming into something better. So it's very fitting, interestingly enough. Now this card tells me that we're looking at something that feels a little bit stagnant, a little bit not really moving as such. So I would say I'm not seeing your situation getting worse, but I'm also not seeing your situation improving that much over the next short amount of time. So it's very much a case of finding a way to how you can deal with what is without looking at things being different, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's very much a case of it is kind of like staying as it is. I'm not saying this is not a card for me that tells me that there are any changes happening, which is good and bad. It means you're not improving in a way, but also not getting worse. So it's pretty much staying stable as it is. Okay, this is, on the other hand, is telling me something a bit different. It's telling me that things are actually improving slowly, but improving, going into a way where you feel you can breathe again, where you feel you can actually start being in a happier, more relaxed place as such. So it's something that feels to me that there's slight small improvements happening. It could be something that certain bills are being reduced, or you're making more money, or anything like that. So it's, again, like I said, this is not financial advice, but it just feels to me that things are starting to get a bit more balanced and a bit happier. Not happier, but I always say happy because it's like always looking for the stage of happiness, but it's not necessarily a stage that we can achieve, and I'm not actively looking for it. What I'm just trying to say is like it feels a more content energy. That's what I'm seeing here. Is I'm feeling a bit better off, not massively better, but a little bit better off. That just makes me feel like I can be a little bit more relaxed with what's going on. Sorry about my fur baby's making big noise again. That's typical, but what can you do? Okay, last card. Okay, this telling me it's time to actually find a way of being able to spend as little as you can right now, because it seems to me that something is happening here that will require you to actually act fast. Not anything bad from what I'm saying here, but something where you just need to be in a position where you can actually deal with something as it comes up. And I'm not talking about anything big. It's just like you might need to spend like a 10 on something that you have to have instantly. Not saying that you having to like hold on to every little penny that you got, but it's just like, just be aware that right now is not a good time for you to spend or to do anything that doesn't need to be doing. So only really go for anything that's essential right now, because it looks to me that there's something coming up here that needs you to act fast. Like I said, not anything to be really concerned about. Just saying, just be a little bit more frugal with your money right now. But apart from that, it's not anything that's showing me where you have to be really careful too much, but just not like long term, but just for the next few weeks, we kind of like keep a bit of more of a hold of your money and try not to spend anything that's not totally essential. So let's go to the next category, which is home. So home, I'm talking about the physical home, if there's anything changing as in a move, anything like that. I'm not looking at the energies around the people, because that's what we looked at the family. So this would just purely be if there's a change like in location, or if there's anything that needs dealing with at home. Just basically how you fit into your home, not how you fit around other people, if that makes sense. So let's see where we're going with this here. Okay, this is telling me that there's really not much to say on that. So if you're looking at moving, for example, right now is not really the time for you to keep looking, because it feels very much like it's time to sit back and actually just be in the moment and not try to kind of move to the next stage or anything like that. So I would say this is really telling me, if you pick this card, is very much about leave things be as they are, try not to rock the boat, stay in the status quo, and just kind of like keep yourself going through one day at a time, because there are not any big changes indicated here. That feels to me that if you are looking at moving house or anything like that, it just feels to me that this card is basically saying, and also the energy around it are saying, you wouldn't really find what is right for you. So at the moment, try not to stress over it and let things actually come towards you. Come towards you as it feels more right. This is very much a card that tells me that there's something being left behind, that there's some changes here. So this would indicate to me that would say that there's a move happening, but it feels like a move that's happening that you feel you have to make, not because you want to make it. No, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are being pushed out or that you're losing something. It just feels that you know the energies around you are no longer right, and it's time for you to actually move towards the next level, towards something that is different, where the energies are different. This is very much telling me about the energies around you are no longer feeling right, and it's time for you to really start moving towards what is right for you. And it's about trying not to let emotions get in the way. Move forward because you know it's the right time. This is about balance. It's telling me that things will actually stay as they are, but feeling a bit better and more balanced and stronger. So this would indicate to me that you are in a position where I don't see a move happening here, but I also don't see that everything stays as it is. It looks to me that there's some changes in your home energy going on. So that could indicate like a redecorating, or it could indicate that something is changing, like in the dynamic at home. It could be that someone is moving in or someone is moving out. It just feels to me that the balance is shifting and things are starting to be different. But it feels in a very positive way, because I'm seeing that you're feeling more relaxed in your own home and feeling that things are feeling generally better and stronger around you. So it's a very good card, and it feels like it's a positive way of things coming together, because it looks to me that it really is about taking the next step forward. So if you've been looking at moving, unless you really feel it have to move or there is no other choice, I would say stay and see if you can make some changes in your current home to really move things around and to change your energies. If you really have to move, now is the time for you to really look around at different options that are maybe closer to where you are, because it doesn't feel like you're moving away from the energy too much that you're in, but it just feels like it needs a little shift in the right direction. But generally speaking, this is a good balanced energy, and it feels to me that you are in a good place generally. Let's have a look at the last card. Okay, this is a card with this, looking at the home energy and that card coming up, it very much tells me now it's a time to make big changes. This is a card that tells me that however things have been, now it's a time to make a big change. So if you're thinking of moving, make it a reality. If you're looking for something and haven't found a place, now's the time to look elsewhere. Spread the area that you're looking at, widen the area that you're looking at, because it feels to me that something needs to change and something needs to really happen. If you're in a situation where you feel like the energy around your home isn't right, but you can't move, but it feels like something isn't right, look at making some changes there, whether that is kind of like moving things in your home around, or if there's a person that is no longer really making you feel good, look how you can change that dynamic. It really is a case of saying, this card is saying to me, it's time to change, and it's important that you make a big change. I'm not talking about moving a plant pot from one room to the next. I'm talking big changes. It's important that you really look. And of course, we can't always all afford to move. Let's be honest. This is not a time where things are flowing as easily as they should do. So I'm not expecting you to be able to kind of like just make these big changes or anything like that. But look at what it is that is really important to you right now. Something in your home energy feels hurtful, feels like something isn't right. It's important to look at those and make those changes. Again, if you want to talk to me about it, feel free to leave a comment or book a reading with me. I'm happy to look into that, but I know you will be fine. That's the main thing I want you to know. You will actually be okay, but make sure that you really look at what it is that needs changing and what the dynamics are that are different right now that are affecting you. So finally, let's have a look at something general. So basically, if you haven't had any question about any of these areas so far, and you just want to see anything generally that is coming up or that I need to be aware of, let's put some cards on for that. So whether you already had some questions and if it got answered or not, or you have nothing in your mind so that you have on that you want any questions answered to just see what's coming up, then this is not for you. So let's have a look. Generally having a look. Okay. Now this telling me generally based as I'm looking at nothing in particular as such, just see what is coming through. And this card is very much telling me relax, rest, and actually put some focus back into yourself. This is a card that's telling me now is not the time to make any big changes, but also now is not the time to step backwards. Now it's the time to really be your own best friend, put the focus back onto you and onto what it is that's important to you, and really kind of like see your own self-worth, see that you are actually able to do a lot more than what you're giving yourself credit for, that you are in a much stronger position, generally speaking, that you can actually really move things forward in a way that is actually feeling right to you. So this is a very good time to really kind of like put your feet up, but stay alert. That's the best way I can put it. Rest, but stay alert. Now, this is telling me that you are in a position at the moment where it feels very much that you kind of like you've been putting everything out there. You've been trying to do the best you can, trying to be the person that you believe you should be. And it just feels like something always comes up. Something always feels like it's not feeling quite right, or it's not going a certain way. This is very much telling us that, yes, things are not always flowing the way you expect them to, but make sure that you actually really look at what it is that actually you do want. What I'm trying to say is, like, sometimes we think like, oh, let's just go for something. Like, I want to have like this deck of cards because I love my tarot decks, even though I don't use them in a traditional way. I use them to kind of like inspire me when I'm doing the readings, to intuitively guide me along the way. And so I say I really feel like want this day. There are some decks that are a few £100, and say I want one of those ones and I'm really desperate to have it. And I put my all into getting it, and then it's finally here, I'm opening it up, and the cards are not speaking to me. They're not giving me anything that I need from it. That's what I'm trying to say is, look at what it is that you actually have around you that you want, and make sure that you actually really want to achieve or get this particular thing or achieve a certain thing. Make sure that this is actually something you want, because this card is telling me that what you think you want and what you actually want are two different things. So be very much mindful of that. You could be ending up spending money that you could use for something else on something and then realize, I don't actually need that, or want a person back into your life, and when they're back in your life you realize, no, there was a reason I left them behind before. So this is very much a card that tells us that. Let's go for the next one. Okay, now this is very much telling me that there are two things happening here. One is, it feels to me that there's a better abundance around you, feeling more supportive. I'm feeling that there's more general support around you, and you're feeling in a stronger, better way, and things are feeling more that you're in control of things. The other thing that's happening here is, it looks to me that it's telling me that you have to put yourself back in charge. What I'm trying to say is, you are someone who has a good heart, but you sometimes forget that you also need to be loved for yourself, within yourself, and that in order for you to really move forward and have the kind of life that you deserve, you do have to find a way of putting yourself first and really making things happen. So this is very much saying there's support around you, there is going to be abundance around you, but make sure that you actually trust that you deserve it and actually put yourself out there and be in the right place at the right time in order for it to actually mean something and for you to get somewhere where you want to be. Okay, now this is very interesting. This is telling me very much, it's similar to when we looked at this card. The energies are very similar, but with this one we're looking at more something forward moving. It's telling me about, while here we were looking at be sure of what you want, that it is actually what you want. This is actually saying what you want, go for it. So it's quite similar but different. This is very much telling me this is now a time for you to really look at what it is you want and what it is that actually makes you excited and what you really would like to focus on, and go for it and really start trusting that this is right for you, and basically not taking a no as an answer. Go for what is important to you and really be focused and really drive forward. So if you're looking to achieve something like get a new job or move house or find a new partner, know what you want, know your worth, and really go for it. So I hope that helped all a little bit and that you found that very interesting. Like I said, it's the first time I've been doing it like this. If you do like it, please do click the like button or leave a comment. And of course, if you like to subscribe to my channel, that's even better. But yeah, anything, if you can give me some indication that you enjoyed it, that would be really great. And until then, I'll speak to you again next time and have a great rest of the week.